The whole neighborhood thought the lake belonged to the HOA, but the day Karen found out it didn't, she completely lost control. Ethan had moved into Cedar Ridge to breathe again. After years of stress, he wanted quiet mornings, calm sunsets, and one simple dream: a small dock by the water. The lake behind his property was beautiful, clear, and peaceful until the HOA president, Karen Hargrove, marched onto his lawn with a clipboard and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She announced the community lake rules, claiming every homeowner had equal access. Ethan politely asked for proof. Karen's smile snapped. She pointed at the water like she owned it and said, "This is HOA territory." But Ethan had something Karen didn't expect: a deed map from the county showing the lake edge and shoreline were privately owned by him, never transferred, never included in HOA documents. Karen stared at the map, then hissed, "You'll regret this." And that's when Ethan realized this wasn't about rules. It was about control. Karen didn't accept defeat. She treated it like a personal insult. The next morning, Ethan woke up to orange warning tags on his fence: unauthorized construction pending HOA review. His dock wasn't even built yet. Karen had already started a war. She sent emails to every homeowner claiming Ethan was stealing community water. She posted dramatic messages in the HOA group chat, calling him selfish, dangerous, and disrespectful. Neighbors who used to wave now stared. Some whispered when Ethan walked by. It hurt more than he expected. Ethan wasn't trying to take from anyone, he just wanted peace. But Karen turned his quiet dream into neighborhood gossip. Then came the first fine: $250 for blocking scenic access. Ethan laughed at first, until more arrived. Every few days, another fine. Another warning. Another threat. She even tried to schedule an emergency HOA vote to force access to his shoreline. Ethan visited the county office. The clerk confirmed it again: the lake edge belonged to Ethan. The HOA had no authority there. But Karen didn't care about authority. She cared about winning, and when Ethan finally applied for a dock permit legally, Karen made her next move one that would shake the entire neighborhood. Karen arrived with inspectors, but something felt off. Two men in plain uniforms stepped onto Ethan's property with Karen beside them, smug as ever. She claimed they were HOA enforcement officers. They demanded to see permits, asked for Ethan's ID, and threatened to shut down the project before it started. Ethan stayed calm. He asked for their official county credentials. The taller man avoided eye contact and flashed a badge too quickly. Karen smiled and said, "You don't get to question us on HOA land." That line made Ethan's stomach tighten. HOA land? She was still pretending. Ethan quietly stepped back and called the county permit office on speaker. He asked if anyone had been sent. The answer was clear: no. Karen's face twitched. The men suddenly grew impatient, telling Ethan he could be reported. Ethan didn't argue. He simply said, "Then let's bring real authorities." Karen laughed, loud enough for nearby neighbors to hear. "Go ahead. No one will believe you." But Ethan had already started recording. He captured their fake badge, Karen's words, and their threats. When the men realized, they backed away quickly. That night Ethan uploaded the clip to the neighborhood page with one caption: "Is the HOA hiring fake enforcement now?" The post exploded. Comments flooded in. And for the first time, Karen looked nervous. Because Ethan wasn't just defending a dock anymore, he was exposing a scandal. The HOA tried to silence Ethan, but the truth was louder. Karen called an emergency HOA meeting in the clubhouse. She stood at the podium like a politician, claiming Ethan was spreading dangerous misinformation. She demanded the video be removed and threatened legal action. Ethan walked in quietly, holding a folder. He looked around and saw the fear in people's eyes, neighbors who had been bullied for years but never fought back. Karen had controlled them with fines, threats, and embarrassment. Ethan didn't want revenge. He wanted freedom. When Karen pointed at him and shouted, "You are dividing this community," Ethan calmly placed copies of county records on every table: shoreline deeds, HOA boundary maps, and permit confirmations. The room went silent. Karen's voice cracked as she tried to dismiss it. But then an older man stood up and said, "So the lake was never ours?" Another woman asked, "Then why did you charge us yearly lake maintenance fees?" Karen froze. Ethan didn't say a word, he let the documents speak. The numbers were ugly. Thousands collected over years. No clear spending records. No transparency. Karen tried to end the meeting early, but neighbors blocked the door. For the first time, she wasn't in control. She was cornered by the very people she had intimidated. Ethan then revealed his plan: he would build the dock legally. But he would also offer paid access, fair and optional, to anyone who wanted to use it. Karen's eyes burned with rage, because Ethan had just turned her fake power into his real leverage. Construction began, and Karen's jealousy became unstoppable. On a bright Saturday morning, trucks arrived. Workers measured the shoreline. Ethan stood there quietly, feeling something he hadn't felt in years: hope. The dock wasn't just wood and nails. It was his peace returning. Karen showed up in a red blazer like a warning sign. She shouted that Ethan was destroying community beauty. But nobody listened now. People watched her the way they watch a storm: loud, dramatic, and losing strength. Then Ethan installed a simple sign near the dock entrance: private dock, lake access pass available. The passes were affordable. No pressure. No drama. Ethan even offered free access for elderly neighbors and families with kids during weekends. People appreciated it. The dock became a place of calm, laughter, and sunsets. That's what made Karen snap. She started telling everyone Ethan was profiting off neighbors. But the truth was, Karen was the one who had profited for years. She couldn't stand seeing people happy without her permission, so she made her boldest move yet. She announced a new HOA rule: any homeowner using Ethan's dock would be fined for supporting unauthorized activity. It was ridiculous. And illegal. But Karen didn't care. She wanted to scare people away. Ethan didn't respond publicly. He just smiled and kept building, because he wasn't preparing an argument, he was preparing a trap. Karen walked right into the trap, and the lake finally spoke back. Ethan requested official HOA financial records through a formal process. Karen ignored it. So Ethan contacted the state HOA oversight office. Within days, a compliance notice was sent to the board. Karen panicked. She called a private meeting with the board members, trying to blame Ethan. But one by one, they started resigning. They didn't want to be part of her mess anymore. Karen was suddenly alone. Then came the twist: a neighbor forwarded Ethan an email Karen accidentally sent to the wrong group. In it, she admitted the lake fees were used to fund personal events, gifts, and travel reimbursements. She even wrote, "They'll never check. They're too scared." Ethan didn't celebrate. He felt sick. These were hard-working families. They had been paying out of fear, so Ethan did something nobody expected. He held a lakeside community meeting on his dock. He invited everyone. He explained the truth calmly and offered full transparency. He also promised any money earned from dock passes would go into shoreline maintenance. With receipts posted publicly, people clapped. Some cried. Karen arrived late, screaming, calling Ethan a thief, but then two officials stepped forward from the crowd: state compliance investigators. Karen stopped mid-sentence, her voice vanished, because this time, it wasn't Ethan she had to intimidate. It was the law. Karen's final meltdown became the moment the neighborhood healed. The investigators asked Karen for financial records. She couldn't provide them. They asked for proof of lake authority. She had none. Her face went pale as neighbors watched the truth unfold like a curtain being pulled back. Ethan stood quietly. He didn't insult her. He didn't gloat. He simply let honesty win. Karen tried to shift blame, saying she was protecting the community. But the community finally spoke for itself. A father stepped forward and said, "You fined my family for sitting near the water." An elderly woman whispered, "You made me feel small." A young couple admitted they almost moved away because of her threats. Karen's power wasn't destroyed by anger. It was destroyed by courage. Within weeks, Karen was removed from the HOA board. The illegal fees were investigated. A new board formed with strict transparency rules. And Ethan's dock became a symbol not of control, but of fairness. As neighbors started bringing food, chairs, and music. Kids laughed on the shore again. Ethan watched the sunset and realized the dock didn't just change the lake, it changed the entire neighborhood, and that was the final twist in this unbelievable HOA story. If you love the drama, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment sharing your thoughts. It really helps this channel grow.